How about that? Try now. Well, I mean, that's got to be it. Okay. Bye. All right, everybody. I am so sorry that I am late. It is now 10:45 on a Friday, and this is your Good Time Jay coming at you live from the 7-6 Air Hockey Club here in Houston, Texas. We are joining a match in progress between Brian Acroco and Austin Fernandez, and Acroco holding a slim 5-4 lead over Austin here in what I believe is game number 1 or number 2. Again, sorry that I was so late this evening, folks. We were able to get the broadcast up for you, but now we are here and we are ready to talk air hockey, sports, and everything good out there in the world. Brian has got offensive control of the puck at this moment, and he capitalizes and gets it to game point ahead 6-4 over Austin Fernandez in what has proven to be a very exciting matchup here in the winner's bracket. I apologize. This is an elimination bracket match. So, as always, here at the 7-6 Weekly, we are a double elimination format. Both of these players suffering a loss already this evening. So a loss here, and they can go out and enjoy whatever their holiday weekend plans may be. I know they didn't want them to start this early, but unfortunately that's just how it goes here in the world of Air Hockey 360. Brian really on the attack here late, trying to close out this game with the 6-4 lead, but Fernandez able to steal away the possession and he's able to steal away the possession, but he surrenders it right back, and Brian back on the attack, but Fernandez able to shut him down, settle the puck, makes an attempt, kind of didn't get much on it, and Brian able to counter, but unable to score. Brian working the right rail hard, and finally unable to keep the puck on the table. 2 times now. Loss of puck control, and Fernandez with possession on the restart. Quick shot down the left side, but Acroco blocks it aside. Fernandez able to capitalize on the second attempt. Now the lead's only 1 at 6-5. Brian stalking here, looking to close it out. Fernandez takes over control and able to get there, and we are all tied up at game point apiece. Brian with the first chance to close it out, unable to control the puck. Fernandez now on the attack. Brian tries the counter. Fernandez shuts him down, comes back with a quick counter of his own, blocked aside by Acroco. And Fernandez still in control on the offensive side. Brian takes control and calls one of his allotted timeouts. Brian with a forehand attempt off the left rail, unsuccessful. Not quite the accuracy he was looking for on that one. Really wanted that one to get through, but Fernandez with a beautiful shot off the right rail of his own, and Brian Acroco finds the scoring zone off the right rail with the forehand. Beautiful to the underside of Fernandez's defense. We are going to switch sides, reset, and do it again. This is an even level match. I do believe. This match open? Oh, well, I do believe this match is over. Brian and Croco victorious over Austin Fernandez. Again, at 7-6 in the game we just saw, or maybe not. Players just taking a breather between games, so we are going to switch sides and do it again. Sorry, folks, with this new setup at the Robin Hood House, I had a lot better handle of what was going on. Even though I am closer to the action, I'm now in a completely enclosed space, which does have its benefits. All right, Fernandez going to be in control at the start of this game with a 1-0 lead based on our handicap system. Every match at the 7-6 Weekly are handicapped. We do like to give our young and our newer players a chance against some of the pros. Like Brian and Austin that you're watching right here. Austin is ranked a level lower than Brian, so he does get a point per game. In the world of air hockey, each match is a run to 2 games, so it's a best of 3. First to win 2 will move on. The loser does move into the elimination bracket as Brian gets on the board and knots it up at 1. This is a double elimination format, so 1 loss does not end your night. 2 losses and your weekend will start. Sorry, folks, we are working on getting the beeper button. Our competitors here very passionate about the sport of air hockey. Our microphone's a lot closer to the action than in some of the bigger sports, such as basketball, football, and baseball. So we may catch some of that passion on the airwaves, and I will do my best to apologize every time it happens. Got a 1-1 tie here, and what I believe is game number 2, could be game number 3. If it is game number 2, Brian has a 1-0 lead over Austin at this point. If this is game number 3, this is going to be for all the marbles, each player with a game win. This is an elimination bracket match, so the loser will be going home, as we were talking about earlier. The 7-6 Weekly is open to the public, so if you feel like you have what it takes, or even if you don't and just want to come out on a Friday night to have some fun, we are located at 2808 Milam in the Midtown area of Houston, Texas. Go ahead and stop on by. Tournament starts at 8:30. Warm-ups start between 7:30 and 8. Your first time to our tournament is on us, no charge to you. Any subsequent visit, we just ask for a small $5 donation. That will go towards the prize pool. Tonight, one of the largest prize pools we've had, $300 in the kitty, based on entries and donations from some of our wonderful sponsors. So a $300 pot tonight. First prize, definitely paying you at least a Benjamin tonight. We always pay out the top 3. With the big pot, we may even pay out more. We will see what's decided later. Brian has we are all tied up at 4 now, folks. Austin and Brian in a wonderful battle. Brian with a short-lived 5-4 lead. Fernandez comes right back on the restart, knots it up at 5. Both players just trading points, and a Croco on match point. First one to reach match point. Fernandez gonna need to get 2 before Brian gets 1, and there's the first step on that ladder to victory here in this game. Can Fernandez close it out, or will a Croco be moving on? Good attempt by Brian, blocked aside by Austin, and Austin scores low off the left rail. We are going to switch sides, do it again, have a penultimate game. We have had 2 7-6 games to start this match here on the elimination side of things. Brian coming out ahead 7-6 in game number 1, and Austin closing it out 7-6 in a nail-biter in game number 2. Austin Fernandez with the 1-point handicap, definitely playing to his advantage there in game number 2 as he wins it by 1, 7-6 over Brian Croco. Both these very strong players here in the world of air hockey, both regulars here at the Airhockey Live 360 Weekly. Pleasantries exchanged on Brian's side of the table. Lots of love between competitors out here in the world of air hockey. Just want to see each other do well. All we're looking for are good matches, quality entertainment on a balmy Friday night for a couple days after Christmas here in Houston, Texas. Folks, I put on long sleeves and blue jeans, and it's too much. I could be outside in shorts, a tank top, and flip-flops and still be comfortable. To everybody who lives north of that Mason-Dixon line, all of us here in the South, I've just got to say, for those of you out west, at least you have mountains and can ski. Fernandez aggressive here early, but it's going to cost him a possession. Will Brian be able to capitalize and tie it up at 1? Right now, Fernandez only working with his head start. Almost a mistake there on the defensive side of things, but he's able to recover, wrapping that mallet around the back of the puck, preventing it from moving into the scoring zone. Both of these players playing with power and quickness, neither of them really using any significant drift work that we've seen so far. This has been a wonderful match. We have gotten our money's worth as every point possible has been played so far. Seen 26 points so far over these first 2 games, both ending with 7-6 victories on either side of the table. Brian taking game number 1, 7-6. Austin taking game number 2, 7-6. And here we are in the rubber match to decide who will move on. And there it is. Brian finally on the board here in game number 3. Lots of good defensive work early here as we are only tied at 1. Fernandez with the head start. So he has yet to score a national point here in game number 3. Fernandez tries high off the right rail, trying to sneak it under the defensive Croco, but unsuccessful as Brian shuts him down. Brian looking right now to regain possession, but he's unable to do so. Austin sneaks one by on the right side. Beautiful shot. Straight backhand, right side of the table. Caught Brian leaning and snuck it by. Brian working the left rail does confuse Fernandez enough to sneak one by. Left wall under. Fernandez unable to do anything about it. Mallet not even moving from that defensive position in the middle of the table, but Fernandez with the answer. Goes right wall under as well. Players again, both of them just trading points. All tied up at 3, and we're not slowing down yet. Austin scores on another beautiful backhand right down the middle, and Brian Croco with a beautiful forehand left wall under. Fernandez unable to shut him down. We are 4-4 just like that.
275.
Took both these players a minute to get off the scoring schneid. For our regular viewers and those of you who play air hockey, and the time it tells me to take, the time it takes me to tell you folks about what happened on a beautiful score. 3 more points could have happened, and Austin Fernandez now has a 6-4 lead over Brian Croco, looking to close him out and move on. Brian not going away quietly. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a 6-3 lead Brian now just a 6'4". He's gonna needs 3 unanswered here to move on, or Brian Okroko's weekend's going to be over. If you'd like to follow along with the brackets live, you can do so at brackalope.com. In the search engine, type in the number 7-6 for the 7-6 or 76 Air Hockey Club here in Houston. Type in 76 and the first search result will come up, 7-6 Weekly, and today's date, December 27th. Click on that and you can follow along live as the action unfolds. Again, a huge turnout tonight, folks. Almost $300 in the pot. Holiday week not meaning much. Okroco sending Fernandez home with a 7-6 win, folks. What a special match. What a special match for me to call as my night's just getting going. We saw every point possible between Okroco and Fernandez. 3 games, all going 7-6. Brian winning game 1 and game 3. Fernandez able to stop the bleeding a little bit in game 2 with a 7-6 victory of his own, but it's going to be Brian Okroco moving on through the elimination bracket, one step closer to the championship table, while Austin Fernandez is going to be packing his bags and going home. Again, folks, you can always please follow us on Facebook at Air Hockey Live. We do these events every Friday night. Any news and notes about the goings-on in the current events of the air hockey world, you can follow on our Facebook page. You can watch us on Twitch as well. It looks like we have a match coming up here, excuse me, between Sarah Weissman, excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. We have got an elimination bracket semifinal match here coming up, or a quarterfinal match coming up now between Ramiro Castano and Sarah Weissman. This should be a good one. 2 very strong players here in the Air Hockey Live 360 world, both with championship table appearances in 2019. Ramiro with a good streak of 4 appearances where he made championship tables with 3 victories, I believe, back towards the beginning of the summer. May, June, around that time. Sarah with a victory here just a few weeks ago. Over Anthony Marino Jr., I believe, was where her weekly victory came just 2 or 3 short weeks ago. For those of you who've been watching over the last few weeks, it has been a family affair between the Marinos, the Weissmans, and the Lippincotts over the last 3 weeks. Final table appearances, that has been the makeup. Looking to get some new faces here at the 7-6 Weekly. We have definitely had some family matchups over the last month since we have moved the proceedings here to the 7-6. Sometimes we have some wistful feelings about the Robin Hood house, but we've definitely had a lot cleaner broadcast since we moved here. We do miss the Robin Hood house, but folks, if you have not come out to the 7-6 Club yet, 5 beautiful tables, about 3,500 square feet. We have got room for spectators. This is a wonderful venue. Again, all of this made possible by our wonderful sponsors at the I-45 Bingo Hall, where's the gig.com and the Old Humble Distillery, as well as all of our private benefactors out there. You know who you are. Without you guys, none of this would be possible. Sarah Weissman with a 3-1 lead here early over Ramiro Castano in game number 1. I believe a 3-1 lead. It might be 3-2. Both of these very, very talented players at the table. Ramiro with a deep run at the 2019 World Championships. Sarah comes from air hockey royalty with the Weissman family, with a father and brother, multiple-time world champions. Right now, she's holding a slim 3-2 lead over Ramiro. I know Ramiro is giving some points up to Weissman. I do not believe she has a natural score as of yet, so I believe 3 will be her head start. Good cut shot attempt by Weissman, but not able to get enough mustard on that hot dog to get Ramiro to bite. Nice right wall, taking the overside of the defense, and we are all knotted up at 3. Sorry folks, kind of lost track of what was going on here. Had a small interruption. It looks like Sarah Weissman has 5 points, and I'm looking to get an updated score from Ramiro's side of the table. I think he's taken it to game point here in game number 1, but I'm not 100% sure. And get an updated score here momentarily. Been a pretty entertaining match. A bit entertaining game number 1 here so far. Neither player really able to seize a lead, not nearly as dramatic as our previous match, but still lots of good things to talk about. Ramiro takes control, and I think he's looking to close it out right here. Definitely trying to be surgical with his shot attempts. We haven't seen Ramiro over the last month or so here at the weekly, so he's probably looking to shake the rust off. This is an elimination bracket match. These are not players we're used to seeing on the elimination side of things very often. Weissman with a run to the finals and a championship a few weeks ago, and Castano is going to finish Weissman off in game number 1 by a score of 7-5. We're going to switch sides, reset, and do it again. Well, Sarah Wiseman getting off the first natural point, her first natural point of this match, leading Ramiro Castano 4-0 here early in game number 2. Now with 2 unanswered, moves ahead 5-0, and Ramiro will maybe in a little bit of trouble, but finally off the schneid. But I know he's looking to get a cricket number on the board here on this offensive possession. Tries the right rail, but Wiseman shuts him down. Ramiro still with the possession, looking to try again. Wiseman finally able to settle, and she takes over on the offensive side of things. Quick attempt, and she surrenders possession back to Ramiro. Good try off the right rail by Castano, but Wiseman shuts it down. Earns possession. She does a little drift work, trying to get Castano to lean one way or the other, unable to do so. She tries a multi-rail and ends up just losing possession back to Ramiro's side of the table. Good block there by Wiseman. Castano taking the rail out of the equation and coming right down the middle. Wiseman shutting him down again. Another good attempt off the right rail shut down. Wiseman unable to get out in front of that one, and Castano's now cut the lead to 5-2. Sarah with a multiple attempt possession, but unable to capitalize, and things back to Ramiro's side of the table, looking to cut the deficit to 2. And he does just that. Beautiful right wall under, sneaks it behind the defensive Wiseman, and now the lead is 2. Sarah with a freeze in the corner of the scoring zone. Short-lived excitement, though, as Castano's able to score on attempt number 2, and now the lead is 1. Castano's running her down slowly but surely. Not exchanging points as quickly as we saw in our previous match, but both these players definitely doing all they can to get the job done. Castano ties it up, going to the overside of the defense that time. Wiseman ripping her mallet all the way back to cover the left side of the scoring zone, and Ramiro moving it over to the right, coming right over the top of the mallet. Wiseman unable to do anything about it, and we are all tied up at 5. Wiseman moves it to game point. At 6-5, she's going to have to close this one out to force a game number 3. That was almost it right there, folks. Castano very lucky. Wiseman caught him leaning, went off the right rail. Castano's mallet out towards the center line. And Wiseman snuck one off the right rail right behind it. Didn't have the accuracy. Castano capitalizes on the mistake, and we've got game point for Wiseman and match point for Castano. Nice shot by Ramiro, and that is gonna do it, folks. Ramiro Castano defeats Sarah Wiseman in this elimination bracket quarterfinal. We are going to cut away for a short commercial break, but we will be right back with some more Friday night air hockey action. Stay tuned. Anyone get a head start? Hey, anybody get a head start? Okay, folks, this is our other elimination bracket quarterfinal between Chris Gibson and Brian Akoko. Winner of this will move on to face Ramiro Castano in the elimination bracket semis, while Jacob Munoz awaits in the elimination bracket finals for the elimination bracket to play out. While we were away, Jacob Weissman is through to the championship table this evening. Our first competitor, waiting for things to play out in the elimination bracket so we can find him a challenger. Two-time world champion Jacob Weissman through to the championship table this evening. Good one developing here between Brian and Chris. Chris with the slim 2-1 lead. Now 3-2 lead. I apologize. I'm falling a little bit behind. Hopefully we're going to have a special guest here to call maybe the next 1 or 2 matches with me. We'll see if we can get him in here. One of our competitors tonight. Should be fun to have him around. I'll see if I can convince him. Brian now with a 5-3 lead over Chris Gibson, scoring 3 in a hurry, and Chris falling behind. Gonna need to pay a little bit better attention on defense. Brian very aggressive and now ahead 6-3, 2 game point here in game number 1. Still 6-3 Brian. Brian looking to close out game number 1 here against Chris Gibson, but Chris will have possession on the restart. Nice defense there by Brian Akoko. Completely blocking the attempt off the right rail and 2 behind it, but Chris Gibson able to sneak one in off the right side. Now his deficit only 2, trailing 6-4. Chris with the swipe at it at the center strike, but Brian capitalizing on that mistake, winning game number 1, 7-4. We will switch sides, reset, do it again. Gibson will have a 1-point head start. I will be right back with you.
Yeah.
Ready?
There you go. You're on. Introduce yourselves, guys.
I am William Wiseman.
I'm Lilo. Hello.
Guys, this is William and Lilo. They are going to help me call this elimination bracket quarterfinal between Chris and Brian. We're going to bring some youth into the booth and see what comes of it. Right now, Brian's got a 5-2 lead over Chris. Guys, tell me, what do you see?
Okay, well,
Okay, so from what I can tell, like, I just started watching, right? But it looks like Brian's sort of sitting and waiting because he knows Chris plays a fast game and it's sort of like
Yeah.
spontaneous. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to wait until he can do what he just did and take the puck and like shoot to kill, pretty much.
So, William, what can Chris do to counter that? What should he be doing?
to counter what?
To counter that strategy that Brian has to pepper him, what should he do to counter that?
He needs to make sure he's staying focused and that he needs to pay attention to the way he's hitting it, the puck, so he can block it and then score, basically.
Wait, I totally agree. Also, like, Brian is really receptive to like patterns, so Chris needs to make sure he doesn't fall into a pattern of how he's playing.
Right.
He's pretty good at that, so
Yeah.
we'll see how this turns out.
Well, since you two guys play week to week and I do not, how big a part does anticipating your opponent's move play into what you do on defense? Because that puck's moving quick, right?
Okay. I guess like it plays like a big role, right? Because you can't just rely on reflexes, but if you anticipate too much, you're gonna like be caught off guard. You know, if like they pull a deceptive move on you. So I'd say Chris is a faster player than Brian, like naturally. He's a faster player. But Brian should be able to call most of what he does.
Right.
Except for that.
Unless Chris does something fun like go 2 rails and behind the defense of a Croco. Almost looked a little bit lucky there. I think he just caught a bad angle off that right rail and caught lucky, and Brian gets it to match point.
Yep. Ooh.
Wow.
Chris not going away easy though, guys. Man, that was a fast answer from Brian, and
Yep.
he will move on to face Ramiro in the next round.
Wow.
So how'd you guys do tonight?
I did
Who
very-
knocked you out? Wait, who knocked you out?
Austin.
Austin.
I forget who else. Oh,
For
Jacob.
Jacob finished you off. Well, Jacob
Yeah.
makes it through to the championship, and never embarrassing to lose to Jacob. You know, besides
Yeah.
Colin, he's probably the best out there, right?
Yeah.
How about you? Who knocked you
Um,
out tonight?
I got knocked into the losers by Phil.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Phil's tough.
And then I got knocked out. Well, I definitely don't remember his name, but
Now, didn't you beat Phil last week on your way to a championship there, William?
yeah.
Wait,
So a
really?
little sweet retribution. Yeah,
That's
William
awesome.
won last week. You had a good week.
Yeah, that's so good. Congrats.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining me in here.
Yeah. Thank
Giving
you.
some color to everything we're going on. Folks, we are going to cut away for a quick commercial, but we will be right back with some more air hockey action.
Their commercial?
All right, folks, we have got a good one going between Brian and Ramiro. Winner of this will move on to face two-time world champion Jacob Wiseman in the elimination bracket finals. Right now, Brian's got a 4-1 lead over Ramiro, and now 5-1 with a beautiful shot off the right rail. It was nice to have Lilo and William join us for the last game. Always nice to have the youth in the booth to help me call these things. We're going to start seeing more of that in the future. I want to get our players to be a larger part of this broadcast every Friday night, and it's always fun to have the kids come in and talk to us for a minute. Nice shot off the right rail by Ramiro, but blocked aside by Brian. Brian's really been on a roll tonight. Ramiro takes a little bit, throws a changeup off the right rail. Brian unable to adjust his defense, but answers quickly and up 6-3. Now he's at match point. Ramiro with a tall order, needing 4 unanswered to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Always starts with the first rung on the ladder, but right now Brian has control. And there it is, folks. Brian and Croco finishing off Ramiro Castano in straight games, finishing him off 7-3 in game number 2. Brian through to the finals to face off with Jacob Wiseman for our 7-6 weekly championship. Should be a good one tonight, folks. Tune in. We will have that match coming to you in about 5 minutes or less. All right, guys, we have got our first championship table competitor, Jacob Wiseman, joining us to call this game, to call this match between Jacob and Brian. Looks like Brian right now has a slim 2-1 lead over Jacob. Mr. Wiseman, who would you rather face off in the final?
I would rather. Oh, take these off. I would rather face Jacob because I beat him earlier, and Brian gives me some issues. But unfortunately, my money is on Brian to win this match.
Well, right now he's up He's up big 5-3 in game number 1. Jacob's had some strong showings though over the last couple of months.
Yeah. What he did is he switched to a high top rather than a low top, and it's helped his game tremendously. Like you said, if you just watch him over the past few months, the high top gives so much more control than a low top.
Wow, Brian has just been steamrolling through these last couple of matches, man. This may be a tough one either way. I mean, I know both of these are solid players. But.
Yeah, Brian tends to get into kind of runs like that, some tournaments where he's just on fire. He's kind of a very I don't know. He kind of gets into flows, I guess. He's kind of a flowy player like that.
Well, and Jacob's going to have to face it right now. He's been on a long break like you. I mean, it's been well over an hour since you've last played. And same for, I guess Jacob's only loss was to you because he's been sitting here in the elimination bracket final waiting for the elimination brackets to play out while Brian just come into this match smoking.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a real strong last game against Ramiro, who's reffing. And so, Jacob has to find a way to kind of get into the rhythm, too.
Well, and Jacob and Brian have both been around for the last month or so. Ramiro has been kind of on a hiatus, it's almost seemed like. Over the last 5 or 6 weeks, we haven't seen him around on the weeklies, so he looked to me tonight like he's been shaking the rust off.
For sure.
Ramiro had a huge run. I believe it was back in May or June where he rattled off 3 weeklies in a row, and it wasn't even close. I mean,
he has a super strong mental game and a real methodical attack. So when Ramiro's on and in practice, he's deadly. Tonight he just looked kind of cold.
Well, again, just rusty more than cold, I think, with Ramiro. Same with Mark.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't get to see Mark in a broadcast tonight, but I watched one of his matches earlier before we came on air. And again, you know, Mark coming off his surgeries and things like that, he's just shaking the rust off. But, you know, hey, God bless Mark, man, coming through all that stuff. He did great. Yeah. And he looks good. He looks healthy, too.
Yeah, and coming out to play air hockey.
You know, finally good to see him out here again. I'd like to see him get his game back to where it was soon. He had some solid runs this year as well. I think we're to 5-4 Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob seems like he's picked up a bit this game, but Brian's coming back.
Yeah, well, Jacob also elected not to waive his point against Brian. I think he knew how hot he was coming into this because Jacob, he's been surrendering those points to players like you and even Colin. He tried to play heads up a few months ago.
I understand the desire to do that, but personally, I think with the weekly tournaments, you should take your points. It's kind of the whole point of them. It's 6-6.
And Brian has quietly tied this match and ripped off 2 quick ones there against Jacob. Now sitting at 6-6. Now, what do you call that when he works it off a rail like that? I know it's drift work, diamond circles and squares when you're just moving it with your mallet around the middle of the table. But Brian, more than anyone, seems to utilize those knocks off the left rail.
I don't know exactly what I call it. I just call it bouncing it off the left rail, honestly. I don't think we really have a sophisticated word for it.
For as long as the sport's been around, this is fairly new with the broadcast, and I'm not going to lie, and I never lie to our viewers, I make up the technical terms as we go along, so any feedback I can get from you guys about to what golf is. So it looks like it is going to be Brian and you in the final,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
It looks like we got a little 5-minute break. How do you feel about it going in?
I don't know. We'll see. I'm just going to go and play my game. I'm expecting Brian to be pretty hot, but should probably go warm up, I guess.
All right, man.
Okay.
Go get
All right.
warm. Good luck to you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Play your best. We're going to cut away to the long commercial.
My name is Brian Acrocco. I'm the president and CEO of United Airhockey Promotions. I have been running air hockey tournaments for about 15 years now, and I manage them here at SMU Houston. Most new players, when they step up for the first time, they're quite surprised at the quality of skill that we have at the sport. Most people out that have not seen professional air hockey don't realize how advanced it actually is.
All right, guys, I am being joined by the lovely Elahi Montazari for our championship match between Brian and Jacob. Jacob right now has a slim 3-2 lead over Brian in game number 1. This is for all the marbles. Brian's coming into this match playing hot. Jacob hasn't played a match in well over an hour. What do you think about his chances coming in cold?
Honestly, I don't know. It just really depends on his mental game is usually how it goes. Because obviously Brian has been like on a winning streak, so he's like ready to go. And Jacob, I think he can definitely, make it happen, but we'll see if he can, or if he does, I guess.
I mean, you don't win world championships by not being able to come into matches cold and winning every
Right.
once in a while.
Yeah.
Jacob was in the booth with me for the last match with Brian and Ramiro, and he was very upfront about how he wanted to play Ramiro in the final because he'd been watching Brian for the last hour and a half and seeing how hot he was coming in.
Yeah.
But he's got the lead right now, and he's doubled it. He's ahead 4-2 here in game number 1.
Oh, wow. It goes fast with them, too.
Yeah,
They both play so hard.
I try to tell the listeners that, I apologize wherever I can because a lot of the time I finish explaining how beautiful a point was, and as soon as I'm done explaining that one, like 4 more have happened on either side of the table.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of the beast and the nature of this game. That was a beautiful backhand by Brian.
Absolutely.
Coming across the table
Oh,
and
wow.
sneaking around Jacob. But Jacob,
Yeah, she's right back with
just
it.
a quick answer. We've only seen it once since I started coming to broadcast for you guys last December. It's been my 1-year anniversary
Oh,
coming up.
wow. Congratulations.
And in only one of these weeklies have I ever seen Jacob and Colin face off. And I think we need to see that a lot more often.
Honestly, I know Colin has such a busy life, but whenever he can come by and whenever he does, it's always really electric. Because whoever he plays against is always so like high competitive.
It's very competitive,
Yeah.
at least on his challenger side of the table. Oh, maybe that just gets us to 6 now.
Yeah, I think so.
But
That's plenty either
Colin, who will go, months without playing, and he shows up at these weeklies and just
And it's just like somehow
steamroll.
magically still in
Just magic-
practice.
has
I know
it-
he has a playing partner at home in Cyprus or the Cyprus area, but I'm not sure that he's had the ability to practice with him. But it doesn't seem to matter for him.
And I can't believe that the quality of competition he's getting from his roommate or what have you is
Yeah.
what you've got out here.
But it seems to be working.
Yeah, my brother, Pete, he was one of the higher ranked players in the world till, his life got busy with the kids and everything.
Right.
He played a challenge match against Colin and lost 17-1.
I kind of remember that, yeah. But Colin had so many matches, and like they were basically all like that.
And again, Pete is
Yeah.
not a horrible player.
No, not at all.
By any stretch of the
No,
imagination.
he's very, very
But
good.
that's
goes
just an
Jacob.
embarrassment. And Jacob wins game number 1, 7-6. We've already had a fool's money where I now call matches
Okay.
where all 3 games go 7-6. We call them the full money's worth match. Brian's had one of those tonight already. He and Jacob went 7-6, 7-6.
I know, it was
7-6.
intense.
That was a incredible match, and it looks like we're going down that road. But
Yeah.
but Brian getting the short end of the stick in game number 1.
No, I know Jacob even only got, Jacob Munoz only got 1 point against him, and he still, pushed through, and he just, I guess, couldn't grasp it all the way, but it looks like it's close to the same thing happening here, but obviously this is only the second game, so we'll see. And I think Jacob's in the winners, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Jacob's
could be
through
the
without a
tournament.
loss. This could be the tournament
Yeah.
right here. Brian is going to somehow have to find a way to win 4 games to Jacob's 2.
Yeah.
And that's a tall order against somebody of Jacob's stature.
When they played a challenge match, it was probably over like a year, maybe 2 years at this point, because it was close to when he and I first started going out together. It was Brian and him, and it was right after he had just won the world championship. It was the most stressful thing I've ever watched. And Jacob ended up winning, but it was even more stressful than like challenge matches that he's lost because what Brian brings to the table is just stamina. And what Jacob brings is just like, I don't know, it all has to be in his mental game, and he just, he can push through or not, but he plays so hard, and they both do, but I think Brian is a little bit more consistent with how much energy he brings, and it's just, so we'll see in this game where it goes. That's why it's always so hard to play him, is because he can outlast most people.
And tonight there's a
Yeah.
lot, there's, 275 reasons to play your best game tonight.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Well said. Yeah.
Not that,
Yeah. I was
not that
disappointed when I got out so
Not that any of
early.
us come out here and do anything we do
For
for
the
money.
yeah.
But
If we were playing for the
270
money,
yeah.
the joke would be on us.
I mean, I think the average at the 7-6 weekly is what, $35-$40 we usually have in the kitty.
About,
But,
yeah.
But tonight, a huge, almost $300 pot, just a wonderful turnout.
Yeah. Really
At the
generous for our
7-6
last
tonight.
game, or our last tournament of the year.
Last tournament of the year, our sponsors really stepped up to
Yeah.
make it special, and obviously one of the two of the 5 best players in the world
Oh, absolutely.
at the table battling it out for you
Always
know,
always finish master level at the least.
I mean, for a full grocery order, not just beer money tonight.
There you go. It's back and forth with these guys.
Yeah, this one's back and forth. Brian with a mistake there. That may end up coming back to bite him in the butt.
Oh, I'm sure.
If he ends up losing this match by 1 point here in game number 2,
That'd be a
gonna
real
look
bummer.
back- he's going to look back at that little mistake and not be happy.
Yeah. No, I'm impressed that he's been able to play with his right hand. I'm not sure, just because I haven't been super up to date with all the forums and everything, I'm not sure which direction he's been going in recently. Because I know he's had all of his little issues with his shoulder and whatnot, but it seems like he's been doing really well with pulling through with his right arm. Like, I think that's all he's played with tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I only recently
I
started
didn't
watching.
know Brian
but-
was a lefty.
He's not. No, he's not. But he's been able to do both, which is why I think it's impressive that he's been so consistent with it, especially considering what I've heard he's been going through with it. So I mean, hopefully he doesn't have to retire his right arm, but I've heard mixed things about it. So we'll see if he's able to use it this year without injuring it further.
Well, it's done pretty well for him tonight.
Yeah,
You know.
and that's the
His-
thing. Yeah, we'll see if it can do for tournaments too.
I don't know who Brian's one loss was to tonight.
I don't either.
Showed up. He was already in the losers bracket when I got here this evening. So
I know he beat Austin Jacob, and
this wouldn't be a rematch. If it was a rematch, it would be with Munoz. Jacob Munoz would have been the rematch. So
definitely.
Brian definitely coming out of a different part of the bracket.
Yeah. Jacob, I think he just won
what
really
a
early on.
shot! Oh my goodness,
We've
it's
been
all over.
we haven't even keeping track.
We've been yammering. That's why I didn't have the scoreboard up, folks.
Sorry.
Jacob Wiseman is going to win the biggest payout tournament of the year.
Oh wait, that was it,
Our
huh?
final tournament for 2019.
Yeah.
Jacob Wiseman is gonna go out the way the year started. He won the first tournament of the year, I believe, as well.
Oh,
first
wow.
week of January. So we
He had
are
a big
going to
gap in
bookend the
between,
year,
yeah.
yeah. If you folks will stay with us for just a minute, we are going to watch Phil give out the dough, and then we will be done. Again, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors at where'sthegig.com, the I-45 Bingo Hall, and always our favorite, the Old Humble Distilling Company. Thank you guys. Without y'all, none of this would be possible. To all of our private benefactors out there, again, thank you very much. You are a big part of what goes on as well. There's our boy Brian Croco collecting his second place money. And shortly, our champion for December 27th, two-time world champion Jacob Wiseman, claiming the 7-6 title. Once again, a nice chunk of change. I'd like to thank Alahe and William and Lilo and everyone else who joined me in the booth tonight. Our friend Charles should be back with us next week.
Hello to you.
Apparently, we have some new models. Definitely better looking than Jacob Wiseman. I'll give her that.
Okay.
All right, Alahi, thank you so much for
course.
joining
Thank you
me
for having
tonight.
me.
Folks, tune in next week, 9:30 p.m. We come on the air. Twitch, Facebook. Hope to see y'all soon. My name's Jay. As always, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for tuning in.
Well, so fun.
And that's